This is the Be One Change One podcast, where our mission is to help listeners define values, practice integrity, and inspire change.
Our vision is to mentor men and empower them to achieve more by taking responsibility for shaping their own lives.
He's CAS, an evolving man who has been shaped by adversity and continues to grow through his imperfections.
And he's Roscoe, an imperfect work in progress that tries to suck less every day.
Between us, we have over 40 years of Air Force fighter pilot experience with countless hours as trainers, instructors, and mentors.
Join us and learn to take responsibility for your own life as we dive into subjects from leadership to resilience to vulnerability.
Be the one who changes their course. Be decisive, driven, and purposeful. Set the example for others. Lead. We wish we'd had this show when we were younger men.
Be the one.
Might have to scoot that a little bit closer to your face. You don't have to swallow it or anything, but is that good? Did that blow your eardrums out?
Nope, I got you.
Sweet.
You hear us okay?
Yep.
Okay. I think we can make that work.
Is the mic good enough?
We might scoot it a
little bit closer.
Yeah, scoot it a little bit closer. You don't have to be uncomfortably, you don't have to deep throat it or anything, but it does need to be a little bit close.
Yeah.
How's this?
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Cass, what's going on today, dude?
Not much, man. We are lucky to have Ryan with us today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about health and fitness. We talk a lot about that on the Be One Change One podcast and the importance of, that kind of mind, body, soul balance, and the importance of fitness, and that if you don't take care of yourself when you're younger, you're going to pay for it down the road. And so
pay for your health now, or you pay for it later.
That's right, man. Yep. So Ryan's been a fitness and nutrition expert in the field for over 20 years. He also competed in competitive bodybuilding, didn't you, for quite some time. And he's been a personal trainer for nearly 2 decades. He's got expertise in weight loss, strength and muscle gain, nutritional guidance, and competition preparation. So we are going to talk with Ryan today.
Wow. Competition preparation. Yeah, dude. Competition preparation. That's like a lot of mindset stuff.
It's all mindset.
It's all, because, when you get to that point, you're yoked and your fucking body's there, right? It's all the getting the poses down right, and just the mindset of competition. And I think even from just flying, but from my coaching background, competition that's one of those things that just fuels you, right?
That's a next level mindset. When you talk about mindset in terms of like, okay, you got to get the right mindset if you want to lose weight or get healthy. But when you're talking about bodybuilding or figure, or, like these female competitors that I've coached over the years, it's mindset from start to finish. If you don't have the right mindset, either A, you're not going to finish the prep, or B, you're going to look like crap at the end of it. And it will show.
Have you read any of Schwarzenegger's books?
The Arnold Schwarzenegger Encyclopedia was what
right on.
was my first educational piece in the training process 20 years ago.
I just read his latest book, and I can't remember the name of it. It was like something like Be Serious or something like that. A very simple title. But anyways, he goes into a lot of the mindset, and his thing is like, he's talking about do great shit with your life, man. Like, get off your ass and fucking do something. Try it. You might suck at it. And in his case, he did. He came over to America and he kind of sucked at bodybuilding, but he had a couple of dudes take him in and show him some things. And he was talking about that mindset. And he was talking about how he would stare at himself in the mirror and try to figure out, how can I get that one vein to pop just a little bit better? And then he would go in and he'd work on it for like 3 weeks and then come back. That level of detail that he had in it, man.
He was the pioneer.
Yeah.
In bodybuilding, in terms of utilizing the power of the mind during your training.
Yeah.
Like if you read his stuff, going back to the Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding, he would always talk about concentration.
Mm-hmm.
He would actually smoke a lot of weed prior to training, which would help him focus and a lot of people don't know that. If you've ever seen the Pumping Iron, the documentary.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah.
Is that the one where he said, it was like I was coming all the time?
That's the documentary.
Yeah,
It's basically a documentary of his, I forget which Olympia it was he was prepping for.
Well, he won 6 or 7, right?
He won 6.
6, yeah.
He won 5 straight or something like that, and then retired for a little bit, and then came back and won. And
what a fucking baller, right?
No doubt.
That's some Tom Brady shit, man.
It was a controversial win.
Well, fucking win's a win, man. Just like $20 is $20, right?
But he's still the man, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
But no, in the documentary, like he would explore, like be blazing up, and then he would go train, and with the weed, it would help him actually focus on the muscle. But you always talk about mind muscle connection. Think about
what you're actually doing.
That was the key. Is why the fuck are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Well, you're doing it to get that one little vein to pop just a little bit more. That little bit of striation in your shoulders or whatever it is, and that's what I can totally see that. I didn't know that about him. That's awesome.
Yeah, that mind body connection is important, man, because when you're throwing weight around, you can be using all the wrong muscles if you're not paying attention to what muscle you're actually trying to isolate or focus on.
Well, there's another side of that coin too, and that's pushing through shit, pushing through barriers. And I mean, we've all done it. You were just talking about rowing, and how far can you go in 24 minutes or whatever it was? And can you get one more rep? Could you run one more lap? I was telling him about my experience on the track yesterday, and I probably could have done one more, but at what cost? I was already starting to get lightheaded, and it wasn't going to end well. So, but that the other side of that coin, that mind body connection, is push through a little bit of that pain. See if you can push that barrier out just a little bit more. Run faster, lift harder, do one more rep, kind of deal.
Well, everything you do stems from the brain.
Of course,
your brain will quit before your body does.
Proven.
Which way would it?
It's your mind.
Your mind.
You had it right.
Your mind will give up.
Your mind can push your body.
Well, it's because your bitch voice gets in there and he gets fucking loud and he starts saying, "Hey man, you're getting kind of tired right now." And you got to learn to silence the fucking bitch voice. I name my bitch voice Stan. So if I ever talk about Stan, that's what I'm talking about. Stan's a fucking bitch. But I tell you what, man, he's a fucking cheerleader, and he'll get you to eat the pizza and get you to not do that one last rep. He's an asshole.
Yeah, well, there's that whole 40% rule that the SEALs talk about, right? Which is 40%. When your mind's telling you can't go any further, you've only gone through about 40% of what your body can do. You've got a bunch more in reserve that you can tap into if you're willing to force yourself and have the mindset to do it. And so that's important. And I was wondering too, Ryan, because I know just in my own personal fitness, like the competition for me, especially as I get older, it's not with other people. I compete every day with myself. Every day with myself, I'm on the treadmill or I'm in on the weight floor trying to push to get to a specific goal that I have, or just to see if can I do one more rep? Can I get another quarter mile? Can I get 4 miles on the tread in a 23-minute block today?
That is the best kind of competition, is when it's just you against you, because that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I've never been a competitive person. I didn't play a lot. I did a lot of martial arts as a kid. I played a few years of soccer, but I was never an athlete. I didn't play a lot of sports. I have always just did the best that I can do.
Yeah.
And push myself. I don't care if we did a company dry try a few years ago. And my boss was like, "Okay, you got to get your team together."
What's a dry try? Just no swimming?
Dry try is kind of like Orange Theory's version of a triathlon.
Just no swimming?
Correct. So it's 300 body weight reps, 2,000 meter row, and a 5K run.
Okay.
For your time. So we were going to do a competition relay with all the other studios, the managers against the coaches, this and that. And there's all the trash talking. And me not being a competitive person kind of drives some people nuts. They get mad. Like, why the hell are you not competitive? I don't care. It never I don't care if somebody can row 2,000 meters faster than I can. I care that I can do the best I can do.
Yeah.
And I can knock out 2,000 meters. And then if I go to do it again, I'm going to try to beat my time. I care less about beating somebody else's.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's
just the way I've always been. I've just never been a competitive.
Well, at the end of the day, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and you got to know whether or not you gave it everything you had, or if you didn't. And it goes back to what we've talked about on the podcast too, man. If you sit there and start to play the comparison game, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get yourself into shame. I mean, you can compare yourself to certain people as an objective or a goal, right?
There's a fucking fine line there, man.
There is.
Where there's a lot of motivation to be found in that little area right there where that guy's rowing 2 seconds faster than you. There's a lot of motivation that you can get right there that will help you push through some of that shit.
That's right.
Where you fuck up is when you start to get down on yourself because that other guy, man, maybe he's been rowing for 10 years.
Yeah, you never know.
You don't know his background. Maybe he was a fucking world-class athlete and you're just a, regular Phoenix gym rat. Okay. So that part of it, yeah, I get it. But man, there is some good motivation to be found in that one little area right there.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
But, and with a lot of people, that's the case. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah.
You know,
That's cool.
Like, I'll cheer the person that's beating me on.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
one of the things that you have to, that I guess one of the pillars of our podcast is this is all individual stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm on a different journey than Cass is on, and you're on a different journey than either one of us. And everyone, for our listeners, everyone's on an individual thing. And you might be a disgusting fat body, but you can still get on the fucking treadmill and walk a mile. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter when you talk about the comparison thing. It doesn't matter that we can go out and run 4 or 5 miles in however many minutes. You have to do you. And you have to do your version of you and try to do that the best that you can.
Yeah.
And as long as you're doing that, then you're going to be winning.
Yeah.
And you're going to start, I mean, given enough time, and you're going to start to see some changes, and that goalpost is going to be pushed out a little bit further and further and further.
Yeah, my point with the comparison thing is just remember when we talked with Alicia about shame and shame resiliency, like comparison leads to shame.
No, 100%.
Right. And so, and those are the things that I think that, you know, we see people at Orange Theory all the time that show up and after 3 weeks, you know, they're there for 3 times the first week, 2 times the second week, 1 time the third week, and then we never see them again. You know, and I wonder sometimes if some of that's not a comparison game. You know, it's hard work. You know, it's hard on the body if you're not used to it. And Orange Theory is a tough thing, I think, if you're not in shape to jump right into.
Now, see, I would disagree with you. See, that's the one good thing about Orange Theory is it's literally for everybody.
That's true, because you could do walk profiles.
You can scale it though, right?
Yeah, you can totally scale it.
Yeah, okay.
Like when in Orange Theory, we're going to tell you when to speed up.
Yeah.
You determine how much you speed up.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
The whole point is just show up.
Yeah.
We take care of the rest. Do the best you can do.
That's
come
like,
back and do it again.
That's like my wife and I going and doing a workout. Like we'll go and grab some shit and get in the living room and do a couple of little circuits or whatever. And we'll do things like for the next 45 seconds, we're going to do push-ups. And then we're going to break for 15 seconds. And then we're going to do goblet squats. And then we're going to do, you know, so it's a 45-15 split for about 22 minutes, break, rest a couple of minutes, do it again. And she goes, oh, well, I can't do as many as you. It doesn't matter. If you can do 5 in 45 seconds, then great. Maybe I do 10. It doesn't matter. You do you.
Yeah, you have
get
to
your heart rate to where you want it.
Yeah.
Keep it, you know, and so that's great that you can scale that. Getting people to understand that no, I don't have to run as fast as Cass. I run as fast as Roscoe can, and that's it. Maybe Cass helps me push just a little bit further, get my heart rate up into that red line zone for a couple more seconds, but not to the point where I'm going to go home and beat myself up about, oh, fucking Cass runs faster than me.
Yeah, I mean, well, if I thought that way, I ran next to him one time. I'd have come back. You're right. Would have been it. I'd have called it a day.
Yeah.
I look over, his base pace is like a 9. I'm like, son of a.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's great. And then you do something like me. And back in January, I was feeling good. I was telling him I went up to Laughlin and got up that Saturday morning, felt great. And I ran up to the dam and back. It was about 6 miles. I was like, man, I feel like a fucking champion. It wasn't fast, right? But it was early in the morning. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. It was really cool out. And just enough to where you could wear a hoodie and just to start to break a sweat. You know, like perfect running weather, right? Came back 2 days later. I'm on the treadmill at the fucking base over here. And my knee went pop. And I couldn't run for 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
So the fact that I can't even hobble my ass around the track right now, man, this spring has been a mindset thing for me, because running is my happy place. That's my get outside, get fresh air. I'm an outside workout kind of guy. I don't like going to a gym. I don't like feeling like a gerbil on a treadmill. I like to go outside, get dirty, get sweaty, get sunshine. And when you can't do that, oh man, it's fucking soul crushing.
Yeah.
So working out is my. That's my release. That's my happy place. That's what I love to do. Like, I don't do much. I don't have hobbies. You know, I work. I'm a dad. And then for me, I work out. And what was it? A couple of years ago, I had and I've never been really seriously injured in my life. Never been to a hospital, but once. I was doing some 65-pound dumbbell presses one morning, and I felt like a knot in my lower trap. The next day, I woke up in blinding pain. After about a week of trying to figure out what's wrong, my chiropractor sends me to the ortho, or sends me to get an MRI. He's like, dude, you need to see an ortho. My disc in my neck ruptured, and it pinched off the plexus nerves down here.
I've started the show.
So a week from the incident, I'm still working out because I'm not going to work out. And I sit on the pec deck and I was going to do a warm up, and I couldn't move my right side. I thought the machine was stuck because I couldn't budge it. I'm looking around, I'm checking the machine. I'm like, what the hell? I couldn't freaking move it. This side's working fine. So I decided to drop down and do a push up. I can't do a push up. My left side goes up, my right side does not. I'm like, what the hell? So I go over to a pull up bar and I jump up and I try to do a pull up. Same thing. My left side goes up, my right side doesn't do anything. I drop down and I'm wearing a tank top and I notice that my right lat is gone. Like completely smooth. So now I'm freaking out. I'm like, did I have a stroke?
Somebody snuck into my room last night and stole my fucking lats, man.
It turns out that that's when I get the MRI and they're like, well, yeah, you ruptured a disc.
Yeah.
So now I have to have a disc replacement. And it happened in September. The surgery was in December. And the doc told me, he's like, just keep working out, keep doing the best you can do. Like, the atrophy happens so fast.
Yeah, it happens so fast.
I lost about 15 pounds of muscle inside of 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My sleeve on my right side was just getting looser by the day. I could physically see it every day. Like my right arm was just withering.
I don't have that problem because I mean, my sleeves are just naturally loose. So
do what I do. Do what I do and get a medium shirt.
Yeah, baby mediums.
Shirt,
yeah,
the bigger you get.
Yeah, start shopping at the Baby Gap. Yeah.
But then I had to have the surgery, and the doc's like, "All right, nothing for 6 weeks. Nothing for 6 weeks." I'm like, "That's not going to work for me." So I told the doc, "I'm like, let's schedule that recap for 4 weeks out." And he's like, "Okay." So the surgery was on Monday, and this is where mindset comes into play. The surgery was on Monday. I was back to work on Wednesday. And the doc said, like, all you could do is walk on a treadmill or sit on a bike.
Yeah, fuck that.
For a week. So I do that for a week. And I'm like, I'm calling him like 3 times a week. Easy. I'm like, hey, can I do this? I'm like, what about legs? Can I train legs? And he's like, yeah, just make sure it's seated and, don't hold anything in your hands and blah, 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 blah. So now I'm training like a bikini competitor. I'm doing legs like 4 times a week.
Yeah, man.
Just to get in the gym and work out. And after 4 weeks, we have my appointment, and he's like, squeeze this, push that, pull this. Does this hurt? No. He's like,
are you sure this was a doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure. Anyway, the diploma said he was. I mean, I didn't really look at him. So,
because I've met some people in Vegas that'll ask you the same questions, but
but he looked at me and he's like, holy shit. Go do whatever you want. If it hurts, don't do it.
Yeah.
You're cleared to do whatever. So I was, back in the gym working out at 4 weeks. But my right side still hadn't caught up.
Oh, yeah. It takes a while, too.
I was only about 60% on my right side, which was really frustrating because you spend your whole life trying to, build and shape your body to have it just taken away that fast. And that's where, like, if you don't have the right mindset, like a lot of people would just say, fuck it, and just
quit,
deteriorate from that point.
Yeah.
Say, well, I used to look like this, but this happened, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit with me. So I just kept pushing through it. And, like now my right side is still not 100% even with my left, but, I'm doing everything that I was prior to the surgery.
Right on.
And I attribute all that to just like, this is what I love to do, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, there's so much really good shit that you said in there. But I don't want to gloss over the fact that I went through a very similar thing with my lower back. And my doc told me, you've probably done your last burpee. You're probably not going to run again. Like, running is a bad idea. Because I had really bad disc issues in my lower back and ended up having to have surgery and shit. And but when you look at it, with the right mindset, there's a lot of room for growth in there. And I mean, I think naturally, like, I'm to a point, like, I don't care about being all yoked and fucking 6-packed and all that shit. I want my body to do what my body needs to be able to do the things that I want to do. We're going to Norway here in a few weeks. And it's going to be a push it up trip, man. 14 days of fucking on the go, constantly, planes, trains, and automobiles, hiking, walking, doing all this stuff. And my body needs to be able to handle that. I don't want to be laid up in a hotel room because my joints ache and shit. That's where I'm at in my life, but if you are told some bad news like that, you have to go through the process, of course, but then when you look at it, you go, you know what, man, like maybe I was at a plateau. Maybe I had been working out and not seeing a lot of gains. And now I have an opportunity now I have a reason to go where I can see the growth. Now I have a way to measure how I'm doing. So I think there's just a different way to look at it. I know I'm not articulating that very well because I'm just not that smart. But
no, I get what you're saying, man, because it's true, right? It's all perception. It's all your perspective,
Yeah.
right? So if your perspective is like, oh, well, there's no point in going to the gym because, I'm never going to get that right side back to the strength that I want. So fuck it. I'm just going to quit. Or you can look at it as an opportunity, right? An opportunity to,
that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah,
God
right?
damn it.
As an opportunity, right? I can get back in the gym, and it may take me a while to get my right side to where I want to be, but maybe I get to redo a whole workout routine now. Right now, I've got to think about some other ways that I'm going to approach this and tackle this because I've got to take my time with that side of my body or whatever. I mean, I went through all that stuff when I had my ACL replacement. It was fucking 2 years.
Yeah,
it was 2 years until I was really back to where I was before I had the surgery. It sucks, man, but you have to stick with it, and take advantage of the opportunities that you have. One of the things that I try to tell myself is because I run a lot, but I don't necessarily enjoy running. But dude, I get to run. There's a lot of people that don't get to run.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are in wheelchairs or
bro, I felt that this spring.
Physically can't do it for whatever reason, for injury, whatever, man. And I can. So I don't really have an excuse not to. You know what I mean? That's how I how I approach it.
What about like where you said you might change your routine a little bit to focus on this one thing, or you might try different exercises because of the thing that happened to you, and you might find something you really enjoy. You might find something that stands out to you, and you're like, man, that was a really fun workout. Like I really enjoyed doing that.
And at the end of the day, you have a choice, and that's, are you going to accept the challenge or not?
And that's where you actually have to use your brain a little bit. Especially
I'm fucked.
Especially the older you get.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I love working out. I know I'm getting older. There's certain things that I'm gonna have to stop.
Yeah. There's things I don't do anymore.
I will never do another back squat.
Like I never really did. I was never a barbell guy.
Yeah.
I never really cared about strength as much as I did like aesthetic.
Yeah.
So I was more about shaping the body as opposed to like, I care less if I bench 225. I just want to look like I can.
Yeah.
But I know, like, I used to love the deadlift. And I know that there's no reason for me to deadlift.
Yeah, there's no reason. I don't do deadlifts heavy anymore either.
Like it's certain exercises, like you just.
I've really fell in love with the kettlebells because of stuff like that, because I can move them around and take some of the pressure off my lower back. So maybe I can do deadlifts. I'm not doing, 200 or 300 pounds. I'm doing 40 or 50 pounds in each hand.
Yeah.
But I can, but that, you're right, man. I had to really kind of take a holistic approach of the exercises I can do and try some things out. And that's where I kind of changed some things, with the approach of it to incorporate the kettlebells a little bit more. That helps me, it helps me be able to position myself to where I can still do some of those exercises.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you just got to mix it up, man, and then accept the challenge.
And you're right, man, as we get older, and this is for our younger listeners, it's going to happen to you. You are not, when you turn 40, things are going to hurt. Like the day after you turn 40, you're going to wake up and things
42. Right there with you. Like,
things are going to hurt that didn't hurt you. A doc told me one time, it was the best I've ever heard, best explanation I've ever heard. He says, you're getting old when you go to bed healthy and you wake up injured.
Yeah.
And goddamn, I star in that show all the time, man.
Yeah, when you have to start using your seat warmers for your lower back instead of because you're trying to warm the fucking seat up. You're there.
My mom bought me a heating pad as a joke for Christmas. I use it all the time, man.
So I want to shift to nutrition for a second, Ryan, because I know you're well versed in that stuff, and I think that there's a common misnomer out there. So I'm going to ask you the question: can you out-exercise a bad diet?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nutrition is bar none. Like that's the first step in actually getting healthy. When you, I'll see. I'm the only one that works in my studio. I don't have staff.
What if I only eat half of the tub of Ben and Jerry's? Is that?
I mean, it's better than a full tub. I mean, progress is progress.
That's right.
So
There's truth in that.
a whole tub, like, and you switch to half a tub, we'll call that progress.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Small wins.
Small wins.
Yeah, small
Small
victories, right?
You're cutting the time to getting diabetes.
900 calories versus, yeah, okay.
But no, it is the most important thing and the first step in actually getting help. What you eat in private, you wear in public.
Oh, that's
That's
good.
good.
I like that. Yeah.
So it also determines how you feel. So, like, you hear lots of talk about macros.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to ask you if you're a macro guy.
Well, they're
explain, because I'm an idiot.
All right. So macronutrients are your proteins, carbs, fats,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
fiber. Okay. So, and each one, like, when you're talking in terms of calories, calories will determine what you weigh, nothing more. Okay. So if your goal is to lose weight and you're worried about calories, okay, you can, if you burn 2,000 calories a day and you eat 1,500 calories a day, you're going to lose weight. Doesn't
Math.
matter if you're eating 1,500 calories of ice cream, you're still going to lose weight. Conversely, if you eat 2,500 calories of chicken, rice, asparagus, you will gain weight. So calories do nothing more than determine your weight. Macronutrients, that will determine how you look, because that's where you're building and retaining lean muscle tissue. You're putting good nutrients in your body. And then the micronutrients, that actually determines how you feel. So micronutrients are your vitamins, minerals, and such. So, like, when people talk to me about calories, it's, it's calories doesn't mean health. Like, if you're eating low calories or cutting your calories, it doesn't mean you're going to be healthy.
Are you a scale guy or a mirror guy?
I'm a mirror guy.
Okay.
The scale is irrelevant.
Man, I'm so glad you said that, because I've unless you have a ton of excess weight that you need to shed, I think that can be a good motivator for you. But if you're jumping on the scale every single day, if you're well, guys like us, all right, when we're fairly fit, my weight's not going to fluctuate 20 pounds either way, a few pounds here or there, depending on what my cycle is, not my menstrual cycle, my workout cycle.
That's debatable.
Yeah.
Well, I always gauge it on how you look and how you feel.
That's it.
Yes. If the scale doesn't change, but you're down 2 pant sizes,
bingo.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
That
That's
means
the
you're
better
dropping
measure.
body fat.
Yeah.
That's right.
And even if you're not showing muscle, like maybe you've been working out, but you're not showing, maybe you don't have the body shape that you're looking for yet. But let's say 2 months ago, if you're a female, you couldn't do push-ups and now you can bang out 10. You're obviously getting stronger, right? Like your body's obviously adapting to what you're doing, and that's a win.
Well, and I just a few months ago, I had a guy call me up and says, "Hey man, I'm thinking about doing this program and I want to lose 15 pounds before my birthday." He had about, 75, 80 days or so there. I was like, okay, cool. And we worked out a little bit of a plan, got him to start eating a little bit better, less fried chicken, more grilled chicken kind of thing. And he did well. And his thing was he was measuring himself every day on the scale and watching that number tick down a little bit. And I could see where that was motivating him a little bit. But eventually you're going to hit a point where that's going to slow down and probably stop at some point. You're not going to see, depending on how big a shit you take in the mornings is going to determine what the scale reads, right?
Yeah.
So I think the better measure is, how do I feel, man? Are my pants still kind of loose? Do my t-shirts still feel good? Are my sleeves getting tighter because I shopped at the Baby Gap last week? Yeah. Little things like that instead of getting on the scale.
Well, as a coach, with my personal training clients, my online clients, like I use this, I have my clients send pictures every Saturday along with their weight. Now I use the scale as a gauge, nothing more. If we're at a standstill in weight, but I can visibly see that, okay, those abs are starting to pop.
Muscle weighs more than fat, all that shit.
The pictures are literally worth 1,000 words. Because I had this one bikini competitor a couple of years ago, and she would get frustrated when she'd send me her check-ins. She'd be like, "God, the scale didn't move," or "Oh, I'm only down a pound." Then I would just do a side-by-side of her pictures, and her body composition is completely changed. And she would shut up instantly.
Yeah.
It's, like that.
Well, and I think when you're the person going through it, it's hard sometimes, even if you're just taking pictures every week and stuff, it's hard to see the change in your own body because you see it every day. But somebody who's on the outside sees it and they can tell immediately that, you've gotten slimmer, or, the butt shape has changed, or whatever, the legs have gotten thinner, whatever the case may be. Right. So I think that can be difficult and something for people to recognize when they're going through, a program. And it goes back to mindset too. I think nutrition to a certain extent, because at the end of the day, dude, food is fuel for your body, and you have a choice to make as to what you're going to put in there, And is, grilled chicken and rice fun all the time? No. But what's the point? Is the point to have health and feel good and look good and feel good about yourself, or is the point to be able to eat your tub of Ben and Jerry's in front of the television every night with your favorite show? Like, that's what it comes down to. You have to make choices in life.
And that's what frustrates me the most about this whole macro movement that started, I'd say about 10 years ago. Like the if it fits your macros thing. Oh, you can lose weight and still eat Pop-Tarts and this and that and the other thing. And that's great, but is it healthy?
Yeah.
If you own a Ferrari, are you going to put regular gas in it?
Yeah, no.
So you want the best quality gas for your car, just like you want the best quality food for your body.
Well, let's bring this back to goals real quick, right? If your goal is to lose 15 pounds, you might choose one diet and one exercise routine to get you there. Well, what happens when you get there? It's time to reevaluate, set some new goals, and in the case of this young man that I was helping through this, he met his goal. He did good. He lost the 15 pounds before his birthday. Everything's good. So now it's time to reset.
Yeah.
And let's
keep
take a
going.
look. Hey, maybe you start to work on, like you were talking about, maybe start to go from, hey, let's see if we can go from 10 push-ups. Let's just do some measurements here.
Yeah.
And let's, if you can do 10 push-ups, let's say in 45 days, let's try to get it to 15 or 20, and let's start working on some of that kind of stuff and start building up. If you have excess, I don't think it's a bad idea to work on losing some of that right off the bat. Let's go on a specific diet that's going to help, diet and exercise program that's going to help me shed some of this insulation that I have. But then once you get there, reevaluate and push through. The people who stick with the same things over and over and over again, isn't there a rut that you get into, or don't you hit a plateau at some point?
Well, setting personal goals is always striving to be better is super important. Otherwise you do get stagnant.
Yeah.
Very rarely will I come across somebody that says, I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
And that's great if they are. Like, if you're truly happy.
Just want to maintain, I'm okay.
One of the things that got me, I stepped away from coaching competitors for a while because most of my clients were female. And the mind fuck that comes with competitors, especially when dealing with females, is they develop this body dysmorphia where, they want to maintain their stage weight and they have to, look a certain way or feel like walk around with this amount of body fat. And, you take a girl that's a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 on any given day, and 95% of the population of females would kill to look like her. It's not, in her eyes, it's not good enough.
Yeah. That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing we were talking about. I need that vein to pop just a little bit, dude. Dude, you're fucking shredded, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I'm a victim of it myself.
Yeah.
Like, after my first show, I'm like, oh shit. Like, I got down to 3% body fat. And then after about 2 weeks, when you go back to normal, like, I'm like, shit, man, I got fat.
Well, you see fighters do this all the time, right? It's cyclic.
Yeah. Right.
Fighters do this. They bulk up and they train real hard, and then they'll shred down for a fight and stuff like that. So your competitive stage weight, that's just not healthy.
No.
To carry around like that all the time.
No, absolutely.
You got to cycle.
Competing is not a healthy thing, period.
Yeah, for sure.
I've actually tried to deter people from doing it. If they do it with the right mindset, and that's how I'll coach people for shows, but I have an interview process now. Like, why are we doing this? Because it was hard for me to see people going through that and knowing that, like, dude, like, you were normal before we started this. Now you're all fucked up in the head for no reason.
Yeah.
So I kind of stepped back from doing that because of the toll it would take and watching people
just the psychological toll, not even physical.
Right. And like physically, it's just not healthy to begin with. I mean, there's definitely ways of doing it properly to where it's the unhealthy part is minimal, but it's still unhealthy. When you're in a caloric deficit for an extended period of time, your fats are extremely low.
You're not giving your body what it needs.
Correct. And then you step on stage and you're pulling water out of your body and you're dehydrated. Like your organs take a pounding from that. So it's an unhealthy thing to do, period. If done right, you're going to be fine. If you post cycle correctly, you're going to be fine 9 times out of 10, but it's still an unhealthy thing to actually do.
Going back to nutrition for a second, I think one thing that people miss too is how important nutrition can be for not just performance, but recovery too. Do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, absolutely. So when it comes to nutrition and recovery, you're burning through calories, you're burning through glycogen during your workouts. If you're not replenishing that, your body's going to take a pounding. Like the macronutrients that you take in, your proteins, carbs, fats, they all serve a purpose. Protein is the most important one for recovery because protein is the essential building block of all muscle tissue. So, and your body doesn't store protein. So that's why you need a constant uptick of it throughout the day. That's the most important macronutrient because your body, when you eat protein, goes through a process called protein synthesis, where it breaks apart proteins and utilizes the essential and branched chain amino acids in that protein, which goes into lean muscle tissue repair. So it's from the time you eat it, your body goes to work. Just increasing your protein, you'll burn extra calories a day, up to an extra 100 calories a day, just going through that process. Carbohydrates is imperative for your energy.
Yeah.
It gets stored it goes through a process called the Krebs cycle where it gets converted to glycogen. Glycogen's what you get stored in the muscle cells. It's what you burn off for energy. So once you burn through that, if you don't have any more, if you don't replenish it, where's your energy at?
Yeah.
And then of course your essential fats, brain function, cushion for the organs, fats are important, as long as you're taking in the correct forms of it.
Well, like so many other things we talk about on the podcast, it's balance. Everything's in balance. Mind, body, soul, nutrition, all these macros from the macro to the micro keep everything in balance, right? And pizza has protein in it. It also has a shitload of fat.
Absolutely.
Cheez-Its.
The bad kind.
This is why I don't shop at Baby Gap, right? Because you said that I wear my shit on the outside. If I shopped at Baby Gap, my shirts would be too short and all you'd see is Cheez-Its down here. So
that's never a good thing.
Cheese has protein in it, but I'm doing good, right?
We'll see.
Made with 100% whole milk.
That's a whole nother topic too, in terms of foods with protein in it versus protein-rich foods. So cheese does have protein in it, but it's a fat.
Yeah.
Peanut butter has protein in it, but it's a fat. So you get a serving of peanut butter, which is 32 grams of weighed out peanut butter. You have 8 grams of protein. You'll double that in saturated fats.
Yeah. Talk to me real quick about healthy fats versus bad fats.
Okay. So
like olive oil.
Good fat.
Okay. What's the difference between a good fat and a bad fat?
So you've got your poly and mono unsaturated healthy fats. Those are your essential fats. That's what's going to give you mental clarity. It's great for cushioning your organs. You've got your saturated fats. Those are your artery clogging things. Right? Like
biscuits and gravy and fried chicken and shit.
Peanut butter, any kind of fried food. Those are your bad fats. Avocado, good fat.
Peanut butter's bad fat.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a bad fat. If you're going to stick with any kind of nut butter, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Because
I'm waiting for it. He's already tagged you.
I saw the wheels turning.
They didn't have to turn that far. You set that one up perfectly. But I do actually really like the almond butter.
Your almonds are a good essential.
I do really like. I try to keep a jar of that versus Jif at work. A little bit of that on a banana is pretty good snack.
Like, cashews, walnuts are a good healthy fat.
Back to the nut butter real. No, I'm kidding.
So what role does physiology play? Because I'm assuming we're all different. Our bodies react different to different things. And there's always that whole debate of, cardio before or after weights. Does it matter?
It depends on what your goals are.
Okay.
So if your goal, and I will tell everybody this, and this is my biggest battle with Orange Theory people, is most people will gravitate to wanting to start. The classes are split. They're an hour long. You spend half the time on the treadmill, the other half on the weight room.
He hates me for this.
But again,
What
it's about what your goals are.
Yeah.
Obviously, weight loss is not your top goal. Your top goal is to build endurance and things like that. So
that's right.
And your
overall,
for what your goals
fitness,
are, what you're doing is fine.
Wait. So what do you do?
I start on the tread.
Okay.
Starts on the treadmill.
I always 90% of the time.
I always do my cardio first.
Every once in a while, I'll do the rower or the weight floor first, but 90% of the time, I start on the tread.
99% of the time.
Yeah.
Who's counting? But like I said, I intake every member that comes in. So one of the first things we talk about when I meet somebody that's trying Orange Theory for the first time, why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals? 9 out of 10 people is to lose weight, build lean muscle, burn body fat. Weights will always, always, always take precedent over cardio. Cardio is actually the last thing in the pyramid that you need when aesthetically or trying to build a lean, firm, toned body.
Yeah.
What's happening, and the reason for that is if you're starting a class and you have glycogen stores and you go to start with the treadmill first, you're going to burn through those glycogen stores, which are essentially sugar calories, right? So by the time you burn through all your glycogen on a treadmill and you go to lift weights, you've got nothing left for the weights.
Yeah.
You're not lifting as heavy as you could.
No, and you can feel that shit too.
Correct.
You can absolutely fit, and vice versa, because I always do my cardio first. Vice versa, if I go lift any kind of weights, it doesn't even have to be heavy. I can feel that when I get on the treadmill.
You feel heavier.
Fuck, I'm spent.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, if you utilize your glycogen stores on the weight side first, you're going to be stronger. You're going to get more out of the weights while burning through those glycogen stores. Now, if you burn through your glycogen stores on the weights and then you go to do cardio, since your body has no glycogen left to burn, you're now going to tap into your fat stores on the treadmill. Are you going to be able to run as far or as fast after you just do a bunch of leg shit? No, but who cares? It's better to burn 200 calories of fat than 400 calories of sugar.
Do you think there's a pretty good balance there? Because you said an hour-long session, you split it in half. Is it true down the middle? Do 30 minutes of weight, some kind of weight training or resistance training, and then do 30 minutes of cardio?
Again, that's a play by play. That's a person by person. Okay. Typically, like for me, if you're trying to actually change the composition of your body, you want, anywhere from 30 to 45 to an hour of resistance training. Cardio should be minimal.
Where would you put circuit training or HIIT type workouts in there?
In terms of what?
For that balance, would you consider that resistance training, or would you consider that? I guess I need to be more. Well, I need to be more specific on what type of HIIT workout. So, so here's a workout of mine. I told you mine that I did yesterday, right? I did pull-ups. I'm on a 400-meter track. On one corner, I do pull-ups. One corner, I do push-ups. One corner, I pick up this 40-pound block of asphalt over my head 10 times, and then I go do 10 burpees, and I did 5 laps of that. So I'm getting a ton of cardio from all the running, but I'm also getting a ton of resistance from the push-ups, pull-ups, whatever the fuck you call those things, and burpees.
Correct.
So on terms of balance, where would you put that? Resistance? Cardio, what?
I would put more endurance heavy.
Okay.
Than anything
Just
else.
because my heart rate was parked at like 160 the whole time. And
remember, when you're speaking in terms of bodybuilding or building muscle, it's anaerobic.
Right. Yeah.
Versus aerobic. So like if you're trying to grow bigger muscles, you should never be out of breath when you're lifting weights. You want to train with intensity. You want to hit it hard. You want to leave it alone. If you're out of breath, you're not properly training that muscle. You're going to get stronger doing circuit training, 100%. Yeah. Your endurance is going to go through the roof. But in terms of actually in muscle growth, it's not.
How important is that as we age, as we get older?
I think it's the most important thing.
We're all getting close to 50 here, so some of us are over 50.
Yeah.
Aside from
fuck you.
I'm right behind you. I mean, like,
Hey, he got rid of the happy birthday balloons behind him over there finally. So
was it the big 50? Or was it
It's
49?
51.
51.
fucking old goat.
I know. I'll be 45 soon. I feel
Jesus, you're a pup.
tell that to my shoulders, my knees.
Yeah, no, when the reason that I'd like to do workouts like that is I go back to what are my fitness goals, right? And I like functional fitness. When you go on a 2-week trip to Norway, you're going to lift heavy luggage over your head, potentially. You're going to walk a lot.
Yeah,
you're going to be on your feet. You know, you're going to be moving through crowds and airports, and you're going to be sitting for long periods of time. And so I want my body conditioned to be able to handle all of these different things.
Is the best way to go.
And you know what, man? I get bored with workout routines really quick. So I need to be personally, goes back to my mental shape too, my mental fitness. I need to be in constant motion. I cannot stand the idea of sitting down, doing 10 reps of something and sitting there and fucking, I guess I'll just wait a couple minutes and do 10 more. That's boring as fuck to me. I'd much rather be in constant motion doing something. So I guess it, like we said in the beginning, in the tip topic, comes back to the individual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about what your goals are. Functional fitness, circuit training, they go hand in hand. Perfect. Like I said, if you're actually trying to like build a physique, build bigger muscles for an aesthetic purpose, it's a different ball game. Going back to your other question, what's more important as you get older? I would say the resistance training on any level far exceeds any kind of cardio, because at the end of the day, when you're 70, it's the muscle you build today that's going to get you in and out, up and down out of that chair, pushing that shopping cart down the store versus, the treadmill.
Do you ever listen to Huberman Lab podcast? Yeah, he talks about a lot of this, and he gets way down deep into the science. But he had this gal on a few months ago, and she was talking about not only muscle growth and muscle density. God damn, words are hard today. Muscle stuff, but also skeletal bone density was really important. And as we age, obviously our bone density is going to decrease. You know, how many old people slip and break a fucking hip, versus a 20-year-old doing that. So the things that we're doing now in our 30s and 40s are going to pay off in our 70s and 80s.
If done properly.
Just from a musculoskeletal structure and integrity. Like doing some B1 change one shit there.
Yeah, correct. 100%.
Cool.
How much water do you need to drink?
Depends. At bare minimum, at least an ounce per pound of body weight. Bare minimum.
Math is hard.
I tell everybody, try to get your gallon.
Yeah.
But it's not just that too. So a lot of people have the misconception that if they're just drinking water, they're hydrated. That's not the case.
Especially not here in Arizona.
Correct. So you also want to make sure you're getting the right minerals and electrolytes in your body, because if you're just drinking a straight gallon of water a day, all you're doing is flushing your system. You're not actually hydrated.
Yeah.
It's the electrolytes, magnesium, chloride, sodium, potassium. That's what actually holds water in the muscle cells, keeping your body hydrated. So
you put like a little packet or something in there?
I actually take the pills. I take magnesium, I take potassium, and I salt the shit out of my food, but I only use like Celtic or pink Himalayan salt, which is actually really good for you.
I've heard a lot of people talk about first thing in the morning, first thing they drink is they'll get like a glass of water and put some Himalayan salt and lemon squeeze in it and chug that real quick. Tastes like shit.
I do the lemon water, but I get enough salt. I salt my food like crazy.
Yeah, I'm not a big salter. I should probably change that.
I would just add some, like I said, pink Himalayan salt or some Celtic salt, and that's a great.
You mineral. You got a little thing.
Yeah, I like Element.
Yeah,
I use their little supplements, which is sodium, potassium. I can't remember what the other thing is that's in there. Magnesium.
Yeah, well, those are your actual electrolytes. A lot of people hear electrolytes and they think Gatorade.
Yeah.
Sugar lights.
Yeah, pretty much. Like so yeah, like taking those supplements are, especially in the desert.
Yeah,
is very important.
That's tough. And you know what? We talk so much about self-inspection and getting in tune with your own self, and we talk a lot about mindset and identifying the things that make you tick and learning to make improvements, small improvements on those things. But guys, you can really, I'm telling you, if you really focus and you start to really pay attention, you can see these little things. When you go out for a run in the desert heat out here, you'll know that a big tablespoon of salt is going to taste really fucking good at the end of that. I mean, so it's not just the mental stuff that we talk about on the podcast. I mean, you will be able to feel this stuff if you really start to pay attention to it.
No, I think what's important, and one of the reasons I wanted to have Ryan on too, is, I think it's easy to get, and maybe when you're younger, it's easier too, because your body's just a little more capable of doing different things. But I think what most people fail to recognize sometimes, if they're out of shape or they need to get in shape or they need to lose weight, is there's a whole educational process that goes with it, right? It's not just about going to the gym and grinding it out for 30 or 45 minutes. There's all these other aspects to it: nutrition, what you're putting in your body, the water intake, the electrolytes. Are you giving your body what it actually needs to do and perform what you're trying to accomplish, right? There's a process that happens here where you have to, if you're serious about doing this, you have to start to educate yourself to a certain extent as well, and start to figure out what works for your body.
I think that's one of the biggest things.
One of the reasons that I enjoy HIIT is because I just know HIIT works really well for my body. Mm-hmm. Like if I want to keep weight off, if I want to stay where I'm at and I'm comfortable where I'm at for my age, HIIT works really well for me. So I really like HIIT routines, and I enjoy endurance because I like to be able to do things for as long as I need to do them for. But I just wanted to throw that out there. There's a whole educational side to this. Like, it's not just about throwing weights around at the gym. That's part of it, right? But there's all these other aspects to it too that are so important.
If people could get that going into it, that would be phenomenal. But the reality is most people don't start to pick that up until they start going to the gym.
Yeah.
That's when they realize, oh shit, like I have to eat different now.
Yeah.
I have to do this and I have to do that now. But it all stems from taking that first step and actually going to work out.
Well, when we talk about shit like that, right? What we're really talking about, let's say that you're a disgusting fat body and you want to start doing some of these things, right? Yeah. I recommend people start small. All right.
100%.
This is why New Year's resolutions don't work, right? Is people take such a big bite out of the apple, they can't fucking chew it, right? So take something small, man. Instead of eating a bag of Cheez-Its a week, limit that to like Saturday evenings when you're watching Netflix with your wife or something. Start going for walks around your neighborhood. Start an exercise program, but man, be realistic, right?
Yeah,
you're not gonna be a marathon runner. Did you see Brittany runs a marathon? You should show that to every fucking client you have, man, because it's so great when she decides that she's kind of a roly-poly and she decides that she's going to run a marathon. She gets all of her Gucci running stuff on. She makes it about 100 yards and she's doubled over.
Yeah.
And like, holy shit, life just slapped you in the face. Yeah. You're not a fucking marathon runner. You have to work up to this stuff, man. And in our cases, we've been doing this for years, decades, right? So yeah, for me to go out on a run, slightly dehydrated, maybe I like to do fasted cardio. I like to get up in the mornings and go do my cardio first thing in the mornings, right? So maybe I'm a little bit dehydrated, but you know what, man? I've been doing this for fucking so many years that I know how my body's going to react to this stuff.
That's a case by case thing.
If you don't know how your body's going to react to this shit, then start small, man.
Yeah. And like we talk about on the podcast too, right? If you start something and it's not working for you, just don't be afraid to pivot, right? Yeah. Like you've got to take some time to figure out what your body's going to respond to, what's going to work best for your situation and what your goals are. Set small incremental goals, have short, medium, and long-term goals that you're striving towards. Don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to readjust those goals if you're not meeting them, or take a look at things, right? Yep. Go back into that debrief process, figure out what you were doing right, what you were doing wrong, pull out the lessons learned, make the changes, push on, set a new goal.
Literally did this yesterday at the track. I went over there thinking I was going to do 8 laps. I made it through 5. And I was like, you know what? I'm good, right? I was 50 minutes in or so to this thing. And I'm like, I could probably make one more, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Like it's just not worth it, man.
Yeah.
Hobbled my ass back to my truck.
Oh, that's all a big part too, is listening to your body.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Knowing when to stop.
I've been guilty of seeing my vision coming in a couple of times.
Well, and
pushing it a little too much.
And I think the other thing to stress too, because I think a lot of things that frustrates people is they start these things and it's hard because they're making these big changes, whether it's diet or exercise or whatever, right? And they don't see change right away. And so they give up, right? And what people need to recognize is, dude, if you want to change your body, it's going to take time. Like, you're not going to see immediate gains in the first 2 weeks, right? It may take 6 weeks before you really start to see any. It may take a couple months before, depending on how well you're doing things with nutrition and how hard you're hitting the gym,
how aggressive you are.
Yeah, how aggressive you're approaching it, and you may have to, if you're a heavier person, that build up to getting to a consistent workout profile in a gym more than 2 or 3 days a week, because of what your body can actually do, so that you're not, to prevent injury. It's just, these things are going to take time. You've got to be patient with yourself. You got to be patient with the process, right? Remember, we got to focus on the process sometimes.
Well, what do we always say though, man? It's more important to build the habit, right?
Yeah.
It's like saving money. You know, when you're 20 years old, you don't make shit. So it's more important to make the habit of saving money, so that when you're 35 or 40 and you do make a lot, now you've already got that, right?
Yeah.
And so in the beginning of some of these, like my wife has a little group of women that started this, we're going to walk 40 miles in 40 days thing. Awesome. Great. And at the end of 40 days, what I would hope is each one of these women have now built the habit of doing something every day, whether it's go out and walk around their backyard this is what one of them had to do the other day, because I don't know, grandkids or something at the house. And he goes, well, I got to get my mile in. She just walked around her backyard for a fucking mile.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you did it, man. Think of all the psychological benefits that she got out of that. Not even the physical.
No.
She fucking figured out a way to still check the thing off. That's awesome, man. That's thinking outside the box. And that's great.
Yeah. And it goes back to, like they say, on average, psychologically, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to shift a habit, to build a new habit pattern, right? So these things take time. So be patient with yourself, but stay the course, right? You got to be.
We just have to bear in mind, and what I would tell any of my clients, meeting them for the first time, is, look, it didn't come on overnight. It's not going to leave overnight either.
That's so true.
It just won't.
Yeah.
Like, it took you a lifetime to get to where you're at now. Like, you need to go through the process. And,
patience, man. How many times have we talked about being patient with yourself?
Patient and consistency is all you need.
Yeah, consistency is so important.
Doing something. This is something that Jocko Willink said the other day. Was he said some mornings he wakes up at 4:30 every morning, drinks his coffee, hydrates, goes and PTs. And some days he goes out and he PTs for an hour, hour and a half, then goes surfing for like an hour and like really gets a good one, right? And then other mornings he gets up and he does burpees for 8 minutes and goes and gets showered and goes to this airplane. So the point is, do what you can when you can.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one of the great things about the program 75 Hard that Katie and I have done, was you learn to find those little 10-minute gaps in your day.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting there scrolling on fucking Facebook, drop down and do some push-ups, man. You can do this. Yeah.
You got to be intentional. So Ryan, if somebody that's listening to the podcast is struggling with weight or fitness, what would you say to that person? What would your initial recommendation be, or your initial advice be to that person?
Start doing something. Doesn't matter what it is. Start doing something. Get up, go for a walk. Start with 30 minutes. If you don't know what you're doing at the gym, like I said, get some weights. Start at home. Make little strides every day. Go for progress, not perfection.
I like that. Progress, not perfection.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's all about moving forward, and again, consistency.
I hear so
Make
many
smart
fucking
food choices.
Yeah,
moderately smart food choices, and get up and move for an hour.
Start
a day.
small.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's how you start. Get up and freaking move.
I hear so many damn excuses from people like, well, I can't afford to buy my own weights. Okay, dude.
Gyms are $10 a month.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
Bro, walk out your fucking house and find a rock in the park. And my kid was he was talking about doing this fucking, I don't want to join the gym. I was like, dude, you got kids, right? Put those kids in a stroller and push them around the damn neighborhood. Do that for an hour. You'll be tired at the end, I promise.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, do you have any cinder blocks in your backyard? Yeah. Pick up the cinder block and go walk 2 miles with it. You don't even have to do anything with it. Just hold it for 2 fucking miles and tell me how smoked you are at the end of that. Like, you can do this, man. And I mean, you ought to see out by my house, I found an old tire out there, tied a piece of rope around it. I'll drag it around the desert. I've got chunks of concrete stashed all over the desert out by my house, where I'll just go out there and, I don't know, pick up a chunk of concrete and carry it for a mile or so. you can do this. You don't have to invest a shit ton of money into it. You just have to invest into it.
Yeah. It's just the time you have to invest.
That's right.
And my biggest gripe is people, and it's almost insulting when I hear it, is, you know, like I'll get somebody coming in and cancel their membership or something. Well, why? Why are you canceling? I don't have time. Okay. Totally get it. I love
this one.
Maybe our schedule don't line up with yours. Totally understand that. We only run certain classes at certain times. What are you going to do for fitness? Is my next question. Like, I don't care if they cancel their membership in Orange Theory. I would, because I care about their fitness.
Yeah.
I'm a fitness guy first and foremost, not a sales guy. So I would rather them go to a $10 a month gym. There's 3 within a quarter of a mile of each other.
Yeah.
And do something for an hour a day so that you can be a better version of you.
Yeah.
Then, you know, I care more about that than I do your revenue from, you know, what I collect from you a month here.
Yeah.
And they can't give me an answer. They're like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to do this, or they'll sign up for a membership, disappear take one class, come back 3 months later. I don't even know who they are. They're like, I need to cancel. I'm like, why are you canceling?
I didn't get anything out of it.
I can't afford it. Well, no shit. Like, you're just giving us free money. Like,
Yeah. You're not taking advantage of it.
Oh, I don't have time. I'm like, look, there's 24 hours.
No, we talk about this all the time.
I do this math project with dude all the time.
You can, it's about what you want to do, and if it's important to you, you will make the time.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
If your health is important to you, you will take a freaking hour. If I can find the time, like I work 7 days a week. 60 of them are at 60 hours a week at least is at Orange Theory, another 10 hours in personal training. I'm a single dad. I still find the time to work out upwards of 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
6 days a week. It's because I want to. I get up at freaking 2 o'clock in the morning to do it, but I'm finding a way to get it done. Do you have to go to that extreme? No, but you can find an hour, 30 minutes to get up and go for a walk around the block, ride your bike.
I have a question for you. How healthy is it to drink coffee grounds?
I mean, there's no calories in it. So
I'm pretty sure I just chugged a whole thing of coffee.
I haven't got
that was tough. Oh, well, good luck, buddy.
Blinked since we started this podcast. I don't know what's in this coffee.
If you haven't gone to the bathroom today, you're about to. No, I do that math project with people all the time, man. There's 24 hours in a day. You sleep for 8, you work for 8. What do you do with the other 8? And then you hear all the excuses. Yeah. Well, I got to do this, and then I got to do that.
It's just prioritizing your time.
It is. It's priority.
Like,
that's it.
If it means something to you, and if it's important to you, I don't care who you are or what you got going on in your life, you will find a way to get it done.
Yeah. Well, and the bottom line is you're either gonna do the right thing now, or you're gonna pay for it later, man. I mean, we were just talking the other week about a guy that we both know that was a fighter pilot who has retired now, you know, and is just in miserable shape, like just not taking care of himself, overweight, you know, and back hurts all the time. You know,
wonder why.
All kinds of Well, no shit, dude. You're go grab a 50-pound weight and walk around all day with it, and tell me how that feels to your body at the end of the day, right? When you're overweight, I mean, even if you're just 20 pounds, go grab a 20-pound weight and carry it with you everywhere all day long.
Bro, I've got a backpack on my.
You're not going to feel very good at the end of the day.
I've got a backpack on my back porch right now with a 40-pound sandbag in it, and I walk around all over with it on the weekends to remind me to not be a fat ass.
Yeah.
Because when I get back, man, everything hurts after carrying that thing around for an hour. Your shoulders, your back, your knees, your ankles, everything. And imagine if you just ate pizza all the time and you put on 40 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
You're carrying that around with you all the time, man.
Not to mention what it's doing to you internally.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother discussion.
The heart disease, the blood pressure issues, the diabetes, like all of the things. Dude, you're either going to fucking pay for it now, or you're going to pay for it later. And you might as well pay for it now and look good doing it than be, you know, Joe Bag of Donuts in your 50s taking all kinds of fucking medication because you couldn't find the time.
And that's, I think, the country's biggest problem. Like obesity.
Yeah, well, we get, what's that new pill now? What's that? Ozempic or whatever that everybody's fucking taking.
More shortcuts.
Yeah, it's all it is.
Like, okay, take some diet. If you're too lazy or you don't have the drive to freaking make some smarter food choices and get up and move for an hour, here, take some diabetic medication or have this surgery.
That's the thing, though.
I had a conversation with this member, you know, she was opting to go for that gastric sleeve or something like that. I'm like, you're going to fuck yourself up for the rest of your life. I'm like, do you know what you're committing to?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get that sleeve on, you can't eat a slice of bread because it's just going to fill you up. And that's permanent.
Yeah.
Like you want to live the rest of your life like that? Or do you want to actually put in some freaking work, have some patience, eat right, train hard, and earn those results?
Yeah.
Without having to pay for save yourself a couple grand.
The bottom line is though, is people are looking for an easy button.
Yeah, they are.
They're looking for a get rich quick scheme or a fucking get out of jail free card. And it doesn't fucking exist, man. That Ozempic shit. Yeah, you can lose a little bit of weight on it, but look at all the side effects. I personally know people who have gone to the hospital multiple times on that pill.
That Ozempic shit is the worst thing I've heard
since fucking terrible, man.
Since the HCG diet.
What is this? So
this was the biggest load of shit ever. So HCG is a pregnancy hormone. Like I've used it. Like it's something they'll administer to anybody at a testosterone clinic. It basically sends a signal to your nuts to start working because testosterone will shut them off. So they came out with this HCG diet where they would inject you with the HCG and put you on a 500 calorie a day diet.
500
calorie a day diet. And nobody's even stopping to think, well, maybe I'm losing weight because of this 500 calories.
That's like 10 cups of coffee grounds.
To me, it was the biggest, like the dumbest shit anybody could do.
Yeah.
And the most unhealthy. And they've got clinics that would do this. They'd go to the Red Mountain weight loss or whatever. That's what it is. It's HCG diet. They'd shoot them up with some HCG and say, here, you can eat this, try to keep it at 500 calories a day. Oh, I lost all this weight. Yeah. What happens when you stop?
Yeah. You gain it all back
in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Because you haven't built any habits or skills to keep it off.
Well, yeah. And 500 calories, like you're just in a state where you're in a state of, you're in a catabolic state. Yeah. So your body is now burning through muscle tissue. Your body's smart.
Well, you're fucking starving yourself, dude.
Your body is like an intelligent AI machine. Like it knows that if you're not getting enough calories in, that it's got to pull, it can't pull from the calories that you are getting in because you'll die. So it goes to its next source, which would be muscle tissue.
Yeah.
So if you're on a 500 calorie a day diet, the only thing you're burning is muscle tissue.
Well, what you're kind of describing here too, where you said, okay, what happens when you stop, right? And this is something that I coach people all the time is you have to find shit that is sustainable to you. And again, this is all an individual journey, and maybe what's sustainable to me is not sustainable to you guys and vice versa, right? But I know that I can do intermittent fasting and still get cardio and get my workouts in and still eat in a 6 or 8 hour window. I know that I can do that because I've done it for so fucking long now, right? And it took a lot of years to kind of hunt and peck and try some different things and figure that out. But you have to find shit that is sustainable. And this is the one thing that I ask people when they start talking about this kind of stuff is it's like, well, can you do that for the rest of your life? Oh, I'm going to do this Atkins diet. Can you do it for the rest of your life? I'm going to do the keto diet. Can you do it for the rest of your life?
God, that thing drives me nuts.
Can you fucking eat nuts and berries for the rest of your life? Think about it like that. When you start to put it in those terms, man, then it brings a little more levity to it. And you can go, okay, well, maybe this isn't sustainable for fucking 3 months or 6 months. Go for it, man. Have a nut, so to speak. Have fun, right? Get out of it what you think you need to in the immediate, but then start looking long term. Like what can you
what's
do?
Actually sustainable?
Yeah, what can you do? Can you go to the gym 4 times a week for the rest of your life? Fuck yeah, you can. That's sustainable, man. And if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
What did Doc John say? 80% rule, right?
Yeah, 80%.
Yeah. Try not to miss 2 days in a row. If you miss one, it's okay.
Make it up.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Right on.
Awesome. I had something I was going to bring up, and then we got fucking sidetracked.
Well, it's like the fad diets is what drives me nuts. Like, again, it's like somebody trying to come up with a quick fix for something.
Yeah.
Keto is, to me, is outside of its medical applications, in speaking terms of somebody that's maybe a type 1 diabetic, or I know cancer patients, like it does have medical applications, but for a simple weight loss, like you're not never going to eat carbs again. So if you go keto And I lost a bunch of weight. And then you start to eat carbs again. Like,
Yeah.
what's going to happen? You balloon right back up.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of science behind that your average everyday moron doesn't fucking look into. And you have to hit certain levels to get into ketosis and actually have it working for you. If you're just fucking starving yourself, then that's all you're doing is you're starving yourself. And that's not the same thing.
The same goes with intermittent fasting. Now, there is a science behind it. Now, when you're speaking in terms of intermittent fasting, you're talking about going from burning calories on a metabolic level to burning them on what's the term I'm looking for? I can't think of the word.
You're the fucking expert, man. Don't look at me.
I know, right?
Is it anabolic?
No. I can't think of the word right now, but from an intermittent fasting standpoint, like a molecular.
Yeah.
So you're going from a metabolic level to
Explain what's the difference.
So with intermittent fasting, you're manipulating your body during your fasting period to tap into its fat stores.
Okay.
While in a fasted state.
You're tricking your body to think that you're starving and it's going to go to its fat stores.
From a molecular standpoint.
Yep.
So like there's certain things you want to do if intermittent fasting is the route you want to go. For example, there's combinations of food, breaking your fast, for example. Your first meal you should never combine a carb and a fat together.
Oh, really? I didn't know this.
So you're basically
So pizza's bad.
To break your fast? Yeah. So basically what's happening is you're shutting the body's response off.
What would you recommend instead?
With intermittent fasting, I've done nutritional plans for intermittent fasting. I would say to break your fast, you want to do just a whey isolate protein shake.
Okay.
Just 25 grams.
That's pretty good.
Protein. About an hour later, 45 minutes to an hour later, then you have your first meal, and that meal can contain carbs, fats, whatever it is you want. Your last meal going into the fast, you want to do something like you always want a protein. I would do something like a fat, an essential fat, and a fiber.
You want something that's going to hold you for a while. It's going to be in there for a little bit.
Fats are a longer sustaining energy. It takes longer for your body to metabolize it, so it'll give you a longer
chicken and olive oil and shit.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you could do like a couple of whole eggs, or you want to throw in some fiber as well, because fiber is going to help you feel fuller longer when you're in that fasted state. Green veggies. You could even do like psyllium husk or something like that.
That I think is one of the things that really irritated me the most at first when I started doing it was feeling hungry. And then I don't know, man. I got over it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you got used to it.
Maybe I got used to it, but maybe I just got to fuck you, shut up.
Yeah.
And
your body will adapt.
Yeah.
Quick.
I think it was my brain though. My brain was saying, you're not hungry. Shut the fuck up.
It's always
drink some water.
It's always your brain.
Yeah, it is.
It's always your brain. 9 times out of 10, like, I would tell any one of my clients, I'm so hungry. I'm like, no, you're bored.
No, that's see, that's a really good point right there.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Like if or you're just craving the shit you can't have.
Yeah.
You're not hungry. You just want a freaking Twinkie.
Yeah. Well, Twinkies are good, man.
Twinkies are great.
Twinkies and cockroaches going to survive the Holocaust.
Absolutely. You saw that episode of Family Guy?
Fuck me, man. Jesus. Those guys, I'm not even going to make Holocaust jokes.
No, please don't.
I'm not getting there. Sorry. Holocaust is bad. Jesus. Armageddon. That's what I was thinking. I suck.
I saw that episode of Family Guy. So
that's great. Yeah, dude. God damn it.
Roscoe's out.
I'm out.
Yeah. Roscoe's.
It was there.
You were fasting, and now your brain's going to.
Now I'm crashing. I need a banana stand. Yeah. No, okay. That was going to be my thing. When you look at the balance of your diet, when we were kids, we were all taught the food pyramid and shit, which I think has been scientifically proven that it's kind of bullshit.
Oh God, have you seen it now?
No, I haven't seen a new one. Is it fucking terrible?
Look it up. It's so ridiculous. And this is how far we've fallen as a country. The food pyramid now, the 2023 revised food pyramid, puts, and I shit you not, chocolate-covered almonds and fruity pebbles as healthier than beef and eggs.
Love it. I can get down with that. I can get down with that, man.
That's your new food pyramid.
Yeah. Hey, look, Barney Rubble they got a lot of exercise though. They're pushing that fucking car around and shit.
I love me some fruity. I'm not going to substitute steak or eggs.
Well, just for the listeners, how many people do you think actually look at the back cover of the shit that they're eating? Like,
No,
oh, I'm buying Special K cereal. Look at all the good shit that's on the front cover.
Special.
Flip it over and read the back of it, and it's got as much sugar in it as Cocoa Puffs. So buy the fucking Cocoa Puffs if that's what you want, man.
They block that out.
Of course they do.
They say, 8 grams of protein per serving. Must be good.
Look at all this fiber you're getting. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you flip it over and you're like, wait a minute.
Well,
dude.
a lot of people are uneducated on nutritional panels. They don't know what's good, what's not.
Yeah.
Where do you rate sugar on a scale of 1 to 10 of how bad it is for you?
Bad.
Yeah.
Like
It's up there, right?
Refined sugar.
Yeah. If you could cut one thing out of your diet overall, what do you think it would be?
Out of my personal diet?
No,
you're
for
coaching
people
somebody.
in general.
So I just came into Orange Fitness and I said, hey man, what's up, man? If I want to make some cuts in my diet, what's the one thing that I can cut out of my diet that would make me better?
I would stick with your top 2 would be either refined sugars and saturated fats.
Okay.
Trans
That
fats,
checks.
stuff like that.
I think that checks with what I don't know, just mainstream thinking. If you can cut out
anybody, just cut out processed shit.
Yeah,
in
processed.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Because that covers all of it.
And that covers a
trans and saturated fats, processed foods.
well, when people talk about if you shop when you go to the supermarket, if you shop around the outside of the supermarket, you're doing pretty good. When you get into the aisles, that's where you start fucking up because that's where all the processed shit is, right?
They bait you on the outside.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in contest prep, like I'd have to send either my wife to the store, like, hey, you got to go shopping. I can't make it through there.
Yeah, right.
There's too many good things on the way to the
Don't go shopping hungry, man. Don't go shopping hungry.
It's always a bad idea.
It's the worst.
I went in here for broccoli and I came out with Cocoa Puffs. I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of the same.
I remember one of my shows I did, I was about 3 weeks out. And it's usually about 4 weeks to show date is when it gets really tough. And I would start buying shit. And I had a cabinet, my own little cabinet. And that thing full in 3 weeks of just shit, like peanut butter and Pop-Tarts and all the zooms and whams,
Is that for the day after?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
the coming weeks.
Yeah. I don't discourage anyone from having, I say everything in moderation, right? Anything that you're teetotaling at, you could probably find some balance in there. And this last round of 75 hard that Katie and I did, we went 75 days, no soda, 75 days, no sugar. Did pretty well, right? And I was so looking forward to going to Cold Stone. I was going to go to Cold Stone and give me the fucking chocolate everything, peanut buttery, Reese cuppy thing in a waffle cone dipped in chocolate with sprinkles and all that shit on it.
Wasn't that great when you had it, huh?
Still haven't had it. And we've been off the program now for what, 30 something days. It's been over a month that we've been off of it. And I still haven't had Cold Stone.
You've trained your brain because you know how you're going to feel. For one, you know how you know how you're going to feel when you eat it. You're going to feel like a fat fucking failure.
Well, you get that. Yeah. There's so many things.
That's how you're going to feel. And then 2 is you're also afraid of flipping an on switch.
Yeah.
And opening up a floodgate.
It's such a slippery slope, isn't it? I having this conversation with Katie last night. She sat down with her little thingy of ice cream and I was like, hey, when's the last time you worked out? And the ensuing conversation was about that slippery slope, man. And when you get on it, oh, dude, it's so easy to go from, well, I'm kind of tired today and I don't want to work out. Okay. Well, tomorrow I got some appointments and I just really don't want to work out and I'm on my period, so I want some comfort food. And,
yeah.
Okay. To not fitting in your fucking favorite pair of shorts. That happens really fucking quick, man. And before you know it, happened to me last fall, dude, when the gutter thing happened.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was doing great, man. Last summer, things were banging, dude. And then the gutter thing happened and I kind of
all the wind out of the sail.
I kind of slipped off, and it's easy to say yes a couple of times.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden it's like, fuck,
that's
dude.
That consistency piece that Ryan was talking about. You just got to stay consistent, man.
Well, I love the way Doc John put it. It's like missing one day, having one Cold Stone is not going to fucking kill you. Okay. It's the second one.
Yeah.
It's when you miss 2 in a row or when you go to Cold Stone twice. Now you're starting to rebuild some of those old habits that you kicked or something like that. So,
well, again, moderation is everything. With any one of my clients, a cheat meal is imperative. Like you get one a week. If I'm starting somebody off for the first time, 4 weeks, you're cleaning it up completely.
Yeah.
Then after 4 weeks, I'm going to implement a weekly cheat meal. It be whatever you want, within reason.
A whole pizza?
A whole pizza?
Fuck
If
yeah,
that's your
man.
thing, you're going to watch the scale go up because it's going to skyrocket. I'm in prep myself right now. And my calories right now are extremely low. And I get one cheat meal a week, which definitely levels me off. It's a mental thing. You get to enjoy
it's a mental thing.
something.
Bro, delayed gratification is such a huge motivator, though, man.
It is.
It really is. When you got that to look forward to, you can, hey, fuck yeah, I can
You can
power
stay
through.
on
I can
task.
power through one more workout because I'm going to get that goddamn cheese pizza at the end. Yeah.
There's no better feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the hardest part is, after, I'm fine with it, but a lot of people struggle with it. Is hardest part is, okay, your cheat meal's over. Next day,
Back to work. Yep.
Back on track.
Back to work.
Back to task.
I do that, man. I tend to, on the weekends, I tend to loosen the grip just a little bit and kind of, I won't sit down and eat a whole pizza. I still haven't had the Cold Stone, but I will, maybe I will get the bucket of fried chicken or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't
not eat the whole bucket.
The biggest thing is, like, I don't expect people to be like me. Like, I'm a machine. I eat the same shit every day. It doesn't have to taste good. Like,
food is fuel.
It's a purpose. I eat it for a purpose. I get it. Not a lot of people are like that. You just want to make smart, healthy food choices and be consistent at it. Not to say you can't enjoy your food, but you have to stick to certain foods because they're just good for you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm bored of chicken. So what? Eat it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Cook it a different way, man.
Choose a lean protein, chicken, fish, turkey, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you've got options. There's always healthy options.
Yeah. This is a trap that Katie and I fell in. We have some property up north that we like to go camping and shit. May is like prime fucking camping season up north, right? So we went camping a few weeks ago, and that weekend, oh, dude, it was bad. It was really bad. We cooked some steaks, not terrible, but then we had the buttered potatoes and the mac and cheese and all that stuff. And we generally ate like shit all weekend.
Yeah, you told me about that.
We didn't really exercise too much. And I came back that Monday, and just like you said, though, man, it's like, all right, fucking Monday, man, game on, right?
Has to be.
And the next time we went camping, I said, I can't do that shit again, right? So mindset, right? It's okay, allow yourself that one camping trip. Allow that. But you have to get back on it, man, because that slippery slope will fucking get you.
Yeah, well,
it's tough.
Every time.
Ooh.
All right, well, we're at 121.
All right. So you brought this up. I wasn't going to bring it up, but you brought it up. So this is your fault. I know his answer. He knows my answer. You got to eat one food for the rest of your life. What is it? One food for the rest of your life.
Well, tune in next week when I come up with the answer for that.
Now, you're on the spot now.
One food for the rest of your life.
You said that you could I eat the same shit every day. So there you go.
I got to choose one
fucking food.
One food.
And then I'll tell you what he said, and we'll debate that.
Okay, well, I'm going to choose some form of lean steak or beef.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. Fifi said Korean barbecue. So kind of the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He says fish tacos.
Yeah, fish tacos for sure.
Oh, we're talking about for basic survival or what we would just love to eat every day?
Go ahead. Yeah. Pick one. I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Donuts, 100%.
You're not going to live very long. The rest of your life is going to be very short. This podcast is over. No, he said fish tacos. And at first, what did you say?
Tacos.
You said he said tacos at first. And I was like, man, that's a fucking salad on a shell. That's a combination of a lot of foods. It's like pizza. It's a lot of foods put together. One food.
Fish tacos.
I allowed. He narrowed it down to fish tacos. Okay, fine.
Yeah, hard pass for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a seafood guy.
No?
No.
I do. There's not a lot that comes out of the water that I won't eat. I love it.
I love
But
seafood.
I chose chicken.
Crazy thing is I love sushi.
Yeah.
All right on.
I think it's just, I don't know if it's the wasabi that I love.
Yeah.
But it's got to be the rolls.
Dousing it in fucking
soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
Take the wasabi and I'll mix it with the soy sauce.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah,
Smash 5 rolls in a sitting.
You ever do the wasabi challenge? Where you just pick up a whole scoop of wasabi and see if you can eat it?
That's
No,
stupid.
my kids do that shit, man. Fucking morons. God.
I'm not that hardcore.
Was it on an episode of Jackass? They snorted it.
Fuck that, dude.
Jesus. Gas station sushi, not bad. I'll pick up a roll of that every now and then. There's a really good sushi place right around the corner over here. Now I'm thinking about
once a month.
Intermittent fasting. I think about food a lot.
Once a month, I take a trip out to Scottsdale. There's a place called Akita. It's all you can eat?
Oh, I think my wife's been there. Yeah.
Oh, it's freaking amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
It's worth the 45-minute drive.
I love sushi.
There's a new all you can eat sushi place right over here by the Safeway in Waddell. That's not all you can fucking eat. It's false advertising. They got like 3 chairs.
The new place.
And they're little.
I went up there to check it out, and it was so busy. And they're like, it's a 45-minute wait. If you want the all you can eat, you got to sit at the bar.
That's it. They got like 3 fucking chairs up there for the all you can eat wait, and then everything else is sit down at the tables and order off the menu. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. And it's the whole room is all glass, so it's super freaking loud in there. It's like a fucking concert. It's like super duper loud. Cool, dude.
What else you got? Ryan, thanks for being here with us, man. We really appreciate it, dude. Fun. It was awesome.
I hope somebody gets something out of it. And, you know, like, hey, man, just if you're struggling with weight loss, if you're struggling with just trying to get healthy, just start.
Yeah. Well, talk to somebody too, man. I mean, you can't throw a rock on the internet and not find something about it.
There's so much stuff on YouTube and everything.
But if you're too lazy to even do that, then fucking talk to somebody about it, man. Get up and go for a walk. I didn't tell you this, but this is the power of just walking, right? And we talk a lot about mind, body, soul balance in here. So anybody that's struggling with any of this kind of stuff, when I was having all my back problems and shit, I gained a lot of weight. I got really good at eating Cheez-Its and watching Netflix. And I downloaded a book on Audible and started listening to it. And I wanted more time to listen to that book. So I started going for walks around my neighborhood, man. So there's a way to do all these things and kind of mash them all together and get that mind, body, soul balance. Listen to a podcast on the way to work. When you get into something like that, holy shit, man, go for a walk. Listen to it more. You know, get you a good book out there, get you a good podcast or a TV show or something that you like to listen to. And you can start to incorporate all of these things. It doesn't have to be fucking, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and fucking run on the treadmill. No, make it fun. You can do this shit, right?
You can do it.
It's good.
We can do hard things.
Yes, sir. What else?
Be the change.
Be the one. Thanks for flying with the Be One Change One podcast. If you got something out of this show, then be the one and share it in your circles of influence.
You can be our wingman through our website at www.be1change1.com. That's B and the number 1, change and the number 1.com.
We invite you to be the one and join our fighter squadron on social media at Be1Change1 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can follow us at Paul Roscoe White on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, as well as Roscoe's website, www.paulroscoewhite.com.
You can email us from the website and please leave comments, share, and ask questions, or leave ideas of things you would like to discuss on future podcasts. Most importantly, be the one that helps us win the algorithm by leaving a review on whatever platform you're listening on.
Thanks for joining. Until next time, be the one.